Hi Keith. Keith, I just want to start off by asking you about the evolution of Mikkel Damsgaard. Mikkel Damsgaard was seen as basically as a prodigy, a Danish prodigy, really good spell at Sampdoria, touted as next Christian Eriksen. But it's probably taking him time to find his feet in the Premier League. Coming off a man-of-match performance against Aston Villa, how key is he going to be in terms of the importance of that player to Brentford's season?
Yeah, Dams is a big player for us. Clearly, he's Player of the Year and Players Player of the Year, so it tells you a lot about how everybody sees him. I'm a big advocate of supporting players and helping players and trying to develop the player, and I think sometimes what you need to be at times with that is patient with them and understanding of the levels that they need to get to, how they get there. It's not linear for me. Very often it's 2 steps back to take a step forward and you go sideways. So he's a really good example of that. I wasn't here for the period of time when he wasn't as prominent in the team, but obviously I've spoken to people about it, spoke to Dams about it, and I think persistence and an environment where you're really supported, which I think he's had here over the last few seasons, has absolutely paid dividends for everybody. So it's just nice to see him flourish and be the type of player that he wants to be and he can be, and equally I absolutely value.
Keith, just on Sunderland, an awful lot of changes, an awful lot of new signings. 8 players made their debuts in the first day of the season, but probably the signing that's in shockwaves around the Premier League was the signing of Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka playing in the deep playmaking role. How important is it going to be to curb his influence?
Yeah, he's a very good player, clearly. His CV would suggest that, and even in the last couple of years, the levels he's been playing at in Germany, very prominent player for Leverkusen, and he's a very prominent player in the way that Sunderland set up their team and the system that they play. So paying attention to him will obviously be very, very important.
And just last question for me. You might not be aware that you're one of 5 Irish managers in the top 3 leagues of English football. There's yourself, Brian Barry Murphy, Conor Horan, Noel Hunt and Alan Sheehan. I was speaking to Conor Horan last week and he was telling me there's dialogue between all of the managers that you start to look out for each other. How important is it? I mean, you're the first Irish manager now since Chris Hughton that was in the Premier League. And obviously you probably look up to Chris and Mick, but how important is it for you to make success of this Brentford journey for the possibility of future Irish managers, maybe like Robbie Keane or someone like that, in the Premier League in the future?
Yeah, I am aware of the Irish managers that are managing throughout the pyramid, and I think it's really, really important for our small nation that we have that representation, and I just think it's a testament to that work that goes on in the individual's journey, I suppose, in terms of going and earning your craft, honing your craft, developing as an individual. It's good to see those individuals get the opportunities that they've been given, and for me, listen, if I can help in any way with any of those and Irish coaches, then obviously I will do that, but I'm a little bit busy at the moment.
And just one follow-up quickly on that. Chris Hughton and Mick McCarthy, do you look back at their CV and did it sort of inspire you? Obviously you played under both managers, and is there anything you've learned from being under those managers that have competed in the Premier League to a high level that you can probably take into this Brentford challenge?
I haven't played for either of them, but I remember watching them in Italia 90 when I was a 9-year-old kid watching the national team, and they were absolute idols. Any player that played for Ireland for me as a kid was an absolute idol and a hero. I've had the pleasure of meeting many of those, Chris and Mick being 2 of them. Spent some good time with both of them, and always very, very good around advice around the game, and the wealth of experience and knowledge that they have obviously is invaluable.